Hello, everyone. Welcome to 12 Bravo channel. Today, I want to talk about shopping addiction. And what I'm going to say today pretty much applies to all addictions. But in general, for me personally, the shopping addiction has been a thing that I've been struggling with my whole life. It started out at a very young age, and the spending habits of my parents got passed down to me, and it's been something that I've been struggling with. And it centers around buying things. Whenever I'm uncomfortable, bored, slash whatever, I start looking to spend money, either getting on Amazon or, other websites, Googling things, looking at websites that have reviews of technology that I like. There's different websites out there that review gadgets and gizmos that I like to go look at and go see what the new, latest, hottest thing that's coming out is. And I almost bought a $900 transformer, but we'll tell you about that in a second. um, so back in October, I realized that after many years that I was having a problem spending, and it was after a certain month I realized that I'd spent too much money. And it was a little bit of mixture of eating out, buying things I didn't need, stuff like that. And just looking back over the years, especially with cars, I was very bad about buying cars. I was very bad about getting into a new car before my old one was paid off. Sometimes I never rolled the negative equity into a new car, but there were times where I've had to come out of pocket to pay, the difference between what I could sell my car for and what it was worth. So, cars was my big issue. Very expensive, very, you got your maintenance issues and everything else. And I just was, after I got out of the Army, I went through a period of like 10 years where I was buying a new car like every 2 years, every year or two. So it went pretty crazy for me. And honestly, I think as I stopped to look at it, it was to get some kind of thrill, something new, the dopamine release from buying something, the hunt, especially if it's something hard to find. Like I remember when the Nintendo Switch came out, and that was so hard to find. And I remember the thrill of getting one, of getting a Nintendo Switch, and like, oh yes, I got it, yay! And that feeling that you get, and then it's like a week goes by later, and the thing's sitting collecting dust. It was more than a week, but you get the drift. So what I did for myself, and what worked for me, I don't know if it'll work for you, but you might want to try it. I, of course, I have a psychologist that I talk with, and she gave me some different tools to use in situations and things like that. So I'll share some with you. But the first thing that she told me was, this was quite a while ago, was talking about Amazon and how rather than purchasing stuff, put it in your wish list or your cart, but your cart's closer to buying. So the cart is a little more dangerous. So I just put it in my wish list. And then I give it some time. If it's something that I don't need, right away, I'll give it a week. I'll let it sit there, and I'll really think on whether or not I really want it. Do I really need slash want this thing? Or is it just a desire, a passive desire to, whatever? And 99% of the time, it goes away from me. It'll drop off. Like, it'll stay in my wish list. And then sometimes it stays there, and I hope that someone will buy it for me. But sometimes I go back and I delete it off because I no longer want it, period, like at all. So it just goes to show you that if you take time, that's why when you go, if you take time to think about things and move a little slower, you'll make less mistakes. And so that's why when you go to a car dealership, They want you to buy today. They want you to buy right now. Like all these sales, they want you to buy now, 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 now. And they never want to give you time to think about like, okay, well, do I really want this? Especially when you're making a big decision, you really need time to think on a car, house, whatever. We're going to spend a couple $1,000s, whatever it is. Take some time to really think thoroughly. Imagine it in your house. Where would I put it? How would I use it? Who would use it? Would I loan it out? Whatever. Just imagine it in your life and see if it fits. See if it fits like that. And if it doesn't, then don't even consider it. But yeah, I just put stuff on my wish list. This was back in October when I started what's called a no buy. I don't know if I mentioned that already. I can't remember. But I started a no buy in October, and it is now July. My birthday's coming up, and I said in October that I wouldn't buy anything until my birthday. Well, my birthday's coming up, and there's nothing that I really want. There was back in, when was it? Back in May. I was really struggling. I had gone this whole time from October through May, no issues really. And this company came out with this transformer that transforms itself, Megatron. And he transforms into a tank, and then he transforms back, and it's all voice activated. It's like the coolest thing ever. It's a $1,300 robot, and they were like, it's introductory sale for $899. I was like, ooh, want. But then I thought about the use case scenario for that item. I thought about it being, am I going to put it on my, living room table? Am I going to put it in my office? I mean, it's a pretty big thing. Where am I going to put it? Is it just going to collect dust after me playing with it for a day? I mean, and then it turns into a conversation piece. Is that really worth $900? No. So I considered it for probably about 2 days. And then I showed it to my wife, and she just kind of laughed at me. So I knew it was something that I shouldn't even been considering, because she thought it was just so ridiculous, especially a Transformers for $900. But it's got a lot of cool technology in it. And if I was a millionaire, would I have one right now? Probably. But $900 is a lot of money, and I just don't see the value added to my life right now. And I want to speak to that on all addictions, is that if you can find a way to resist and just sit with your urges a little bit, you can actually reprogram the neural pathways in your brain. You can retrain them to do different things. And so like they teach you, in anxiety, like if you sit with your anxiety a little longer, you'll be able to become more resilient and withstand more, traumatic things. So you can build your brain back with new neural pathways and everything. It's, it's all science. Look it up. But anyways, at the risk of ranting on, I just want to say that try a no buy if you have a shopping addiction, and see how you do. The first month goes by, and you get that urge to buy something, just sit with it and think to yourself, like, okay, why am I feeling like this? Why do I want another black leather jacket when I've got a black leather jacket in the closet, or why do I need a $300 special controller for the PlayStation that has like 4 more buttons on it? Just stupid things that people spend their money on. There are things out there that obviously you need, but at the same time, you just need to look at trying to find a balance in your life of, okay, when you spend money, what you're really spending is time, right? That's what you're spending, because it took you time to make that money. So when you spend, if you make $20 an hour, when you spend $20 at Chipotle, you just spend an hour of your life for that food. You got to think of it that way. You got to think of like, this isn't money I'm spending, this is time. And as you get older and you make more money and everything else, you start learning that time is money. And you start learning like, oh, if I pay someone $100 a month, then I don't have to cut my own grass or trim my bushes and weeds and stuff like that. I can pay someone $100 a month to do my yard. That to me is a wise spending of money. Like I spend $100 a month on a landscaper. I've got a small yard, and they do the bushes, the edge, everything. And to me, it's well worth it because that's time that I don't have to go out there and do that. Not that I'm lazy, not that I'm like, oh, I don't, whatever. But it's one less thing that I have to do that gives me time to do other things. And I understand wealthy people that have house cleaners and private chefs and all that stuff. I would totally have that too if I was wealthy, because it saves you a lot of time, when you don't have to do dishes, when you have to do laundry, anything like that. It saves you a lot of time to do other things that you want to do. Now, obviously, that only works if you're sort of driven and want to do things. Sometimes I can be really lazy and sit here all day and not do anything. But at risk of getting off topic, just use a lot of introspection. I like stoicism a lot, and I try to lead a stoic lifestyle. Use a lot of introspection, control the things that you can control, and have some grace on yourself. Okay, it's a process. I'm 100% sure I'm cured of my shopping addiction. I'm 100% sure. I can walk into a Target, Walmart, my favorite store, which is Best Buy. I can walk into a Best Buy, not want anything. I can be like, oh, that's cool, but like I'm not, the thought of like reaching into my pocket to start paying for it hasn't even crossed my mind. So I'm good now, and I hope that if any of you out there are struggling with addiction, that you get help, seek professional treatment, and talk to people, lean on them, lean on your friends, lean on your family, ask for help. Say, hey, I got a problem, I need help. That's all you got to do. People are there, people will help you, whether it's shopping, whether it's gambling, whatever it is, people will help you. You just got to reach out and seek it. Know yourself and keep improving every day. All right? Stay true. Take care.